Okay, have you had a notification to say we're recording?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So, hi, Cara. You've joined us from, obviously, you're a volunteer with Strut Safe. I really appreciate you coming on.
You're welcome. Happy to give my
It's nice
time.
to have you. Thank you. It's nice to have you on Mama's Gone Mad. So for anyone who doesn't know, what is Strut Safe?
So Strut Safe is a volunteer-led support line. All the call handlers, board of directors, everybody involved in Strut Safe is a volunteer. It's a UK-wide support line that anybody can call from anywhere in the UK. It's free to call. It's anonymous, non-judgmental, and we're really there to help anybody that's out traveling alone, just give them a little bit of company, a little bit of reassurance on their journey, just to make them feel a little bit safer. So you could be leaving work, heading home, you could be going from a friend's house, you could be traveling to work, you could just be going out for a walk yourself and kind of feel a little bit anxious. Any journey you're taking on your own during our opening hours, feel free to call and we'll be there to just keep you company while you do. So
That's brilliant. So what are the opening hours, if you don't mind me asking? Sorry.
so that's okay. We're currently open Fridays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. and Sundays 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. We are looking to expand those to be open maybe Wednesdays and Thursdays as well, because they're quite big student nights, and we do find that maybe a lot of that population would call. However, because we rely on donations, we're a not-profit community interest company, so everything is donation led. So it would depend on whether we had enough donations to open for longer hours. But that's currently what we're looking for. But just now it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, that is great though. It's the right hours, isn't it? It's getting dark. It's when you would feel you just want that reassurance that someone's listening to you and that, if anything would happen, someone's going to hear it basically.
yeah,
Um,
so we do find in the summer that our calls tend to drop off a little bit because it's lighter later. Um, Generally people are kind of out with friends anyway. And obviously in the winter when it gets darker earlier, that's when we tend to find maybe the call volume kind of peaks a little bit. Um, but yeah, we're just there for anybody that's traveling from A to B basically that wants a little company on the phone. You might have family you can call or friends or parents, but they might not be available, or you might want to disturb them, or you might just not fancy chatting to them that day and want somebody else to talk to. So we're always there.
well, that's brilliant. That really is great. I definitely, obviously, these days I don't get out, but if I ever did, it's something that I think I would definitely use on the basis that it's obviously when I would be traveling home, my husband would probably be in bed, and I wouldn't want to be waking anyone. And I think sometimes when you are seen to be on the phone as well, it gives you that element of safety too, doesn't it? Being seen that you're speaking to somebody, it might eliminate a bit of a risk, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it could be seen as a deterrent, and it's a genuine and proper conversation. It's not like you're leaving a message on a voicemail pretending to call. So it could be seen as a deterrent, and it sometimes just gives people that little bit of reassurance. Some people just want to vent as well, and we chat about all sorts. We get callers from all backgrounds, from all walks of life, and you just make small talk. What do you do? How's your day been? And then you can go to deeper things if it's like, so what one thing could you change about your work if you could, or what's the nicest thing somebody said to you today? So what movies have you seen? What books do you like? There's so much to talk about that the conversation just flows. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, it sounds brilliant. So how long has it been around then?
So it started in spring 2021 after a few high profile street violence incidents. It was started by a couple of friends in Edinburgh who wanted to do something on the kind of a community basis. And it started as a walking service as well as a phone line. So people in Edinburgh could call and somebody would meet them and walk home with them. But as the phone line gained in popularity, people started sharing it on social media, word started to get around. The company decided to put their all the resources into the phone line and then stop the walking service in Edinburgh. So now all of our focus is purely on the phone line, and like we're now UK wide. Our call handlers are scattered around the UK as well. So I'm based up in East Scotland, but we've got call handlers down south in London, down in Nottingham, across in Glasgow. So they're all over, and we take calls from all across the UK. So
Wow. That's incredible, isn't it? So how long have you been volunteering for them then?
So I started volunteering in December last year. I'd kind of made inquiries a few months before that. My 20-year-old daughter went away to university. It's a university that's 2 hours away. And while she's a bit of a hermit, I thought if she was out and I wasn't available, it's so nice to know there's a service that she could call. And I thought, well, I would like to be that for other people, whether it's other parents in that reassurance that their children could call, or just other people that are out walking, just that friendly voice on the phone. So I did my first few shifts in December last year. So
Oh wow. I mean I think it's amazing. I think that if you have the time to do it, it sounds like an incredible thing to volunteer for, doesn't it? It's
yeah,
so important.
and it's so easy to do. So our shifts are split. Our volunteers do 7 to 11 on a Friday or Saturday. Then the next shift come on and do 11 to 3 Friday and Saturday, and on a Sunday it's 7 to 10 and 10 to 1. So I
Yeah,
really like the 11 to 3 shift
could
because
you please?
sorry.
Sorry, I just lost you on that last bit. You said
Oh,
7 to 11 and then I lost you. Sorry.
okay. So their shifts are 7 to 11 or 11 to 3. So we break it in
Yeah.
into blocks of 4 hours so that nobody's doing like a full whack themselves. Or like the full opening hours. I prefer the 11 to 3 shift because the chores are done, the kids are in bed, the husband's in bed, and I can just chill. I just sit in the kitchen, have something on the laptop, or have a book and have your snacks and your water or your cup of tea, and then you just wait for the calls to come in. So it's so easy to do. I don't think it puts me out. I'd be in the house anyway. It just means I get along live the next morning. So it's nice.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. So is it just a case of it sort of being redirected to your phone, or do you get like given a phone? How do you go about that kind of side of
So
it?
when our callers call the number, they get put through to a PA service, and then they'll put them through to the volunteer that's free, and they just introduce them and say, "I've got X on the phone looking to chat to somebody while they're back home," and we're like, "Great, pop them through," and then we just pick up the call and take it over from there until they're at their destination safely.
Wow, that's great. And I was obviously I was reading up on it. I wouldn't come into this without and I saw that you also offer two phone emergency services if needed.
So
Have you ever had to do that when you've been on or
no, no. I'd probably say like 99% of our callers get home or get where they're going absolutely safely. Because we're not an emergency service and it's an anonymous phone line, so we don't have the location, we don't have their GPS, or not anything like that. So if a situation did arise, we would be encouraging them to hang up from us and take the action that they felt was relevant for them at the time, whether that's 999 or whatever other action they would want to take. Um, we can't dispatch them because you don't know where they are. We might take a name at the start just to kind of help break the ice. If they give us their location, that's absolutely fine, but some of them don't want to.
yeah,
So if a situation was to occur, we would encourage them to terminate the call with us and to take the appropriate next steps that they think they would need to do to keep their safety, keep
yeah.
themselves safe.
Oh, that's brilliant. I've clearly misread. I do that a lot.
Okay.
So have you ever used the services yourself, or have you ever known anyone who's used them? Has anyone ever said to you, "Oh, I've rang them before"?
So I have used them a couple of times. Most recently last weekend, I was down in Suffolk for a wedding, and I dropped my son back off at the hotel because he was clearly bored. 15-year-old boys don't want to be at a wedding. So at the reception, he's like, "I'm so bored." So I walked him back to the hotel, and then I phoned Strut Safe on my way back to the venue. I just had to chat with one of the other volunteers. We've had stalls at various Pride festivals over the summer, and some of the people that approach us have said, "No, my friends used it. We love it. We think it's amazing." And we love hearing from each other. Whenever any of our volunteers call, it's like, "Oh my God," I like because we don't really get to interact much. So one of the ways we do get to speak to each other is if we've called in the service ourselves, or one of our volunteers has called in when you've been on shift. So
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that sounds lovely, doesn't it? It's almost like a connection with someone that you wouldn't ever have otherwise, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So I actually have a question from a listener to the podcast. I won't read it as she's written it because it's like a full paragraph. But basically, she has seen, I'm just reading it, sorry, that I'm looking down.
No, that's okay.
She's seen on Facebook recently quite a few companies that are selling safety kits. They're mainly sort of targeted at women um, to buy to keep them safe walking home alone. Um, the thing is, they have weapons in them. They've got blades or something like that. And obviously, if you use that and you're caught with that, you're going to get charged yourself for well, an intent charge essentially. So is there anything that you could recommend anyone carries, women or men, that is safe but could potentially deter someone? Or would you just recommend, ringing up, making sure the phone's to your ear, and obviously that's a deterrent itself?
And in essence, yeah. So because we're not an advice service, what might work for one person might not work for another, and we wouldn't be able to give an answer like that. What we would say is safety looks different for everybody. So we are really encouraging people to kind of work together. So what safety might look like for one person could be getting in touch with their and for their bosses and saying, look, can you give us taxi fare home, or can you arrange for a taxi home? It could be making sure that you've arranged with your friends that you're all going to go home together, or you're going to go home in pairs. It could also mean calling our line, or somebody else if you didn't want to call us. That would be what we would recommend as kind of the kit in essence. Obviously, any form of street violence is not the victim's fault, but we wouldn't be able to advise on any particular kits that people would or should buy. We would encourage that you just take the kind of common sense steps to keep yourself safe when you're out. And if that means calling us, then that's what we're here to do. So
Yeah, it's such a shame, isn't it, that we have to worry about walking home, that anyone has to worry about walking home at any time of day or night. We shouldn't have to be scared of that. And unfortunately,
no,
it's something we do have to we have to remain vigilant ourselves, and we have to teach our kids to stay safe. And we can all say, well, we shouldn't have to do that, but we do have to.
we
That's
do
the
have to.
reality, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. So obviously you're saying that the organisation, the charity, is looking for donations.
Yes.
How do you have the information of how people can donate?
So the best way would be to just go to strutsafe.org, and there's a donate link on the website. And people can either do a one-off donation or a current donation for as much or as little as they like. Any amount is absolutely very welcome, and it helps us keep the service open for those that need it.
So does the donation sort of pay for the phone line? Is that what that is?
In essence, yeah. So it probably costs about £500 a month to keep the service up and active.
Wow.
And we would love to keep that going and, like I say, expand the hours. But in order to expand the hours, we would obviously then need to pay out for various costs and resources, which would obviously incur more cost to the company. So if any of your listeners are have got a couple of pounds spare and they would like to send it our way, we would absolutely appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll definitely be donating after this. I honestly, I think that like a lot of people who will listen, I did not realize it would cost that much. That's really shocked me. It's
Yeah.
incredible, isn't it? Um, do you know roughly how many calls Strut Safe actually receive, sort of daily, weekly, monthly, whatever?
So it does, as I said earlier on, it does kind of vary in terms of the time of year, the day of the week. If it's bad weather, people are less likely to be out, so we're less likely to get calls if it's absolutely bringing it down with rain, or
Yeah,
if it's really quite cold. And like I said, in the summer, the lighter nights tend to people kind of feel a little bit safer. But we're kind of averaging probably about 10 calls a night recently, which is amazing. And we've always got more than one volunteer on, so the lines are never tied up. You can always get through. But kind of averaging about 10 calls a night. And we're really seeing some traction on Instagram just now with promoting and getting the word out there. So we're hoping that number increases. And like I say, if we are able to get a few more donations in, then we can look at opening our hours as well through Wednesday and Thursday to kind of help more people get home safe.
wow. So that, I mean, it is incredible, isn't it? Is there anything else at all that you would like to add?
I don't think so. We have, because we are a volunteer-led service, there's a form on our website. So if you maybe don't want to donate, then please share us on social media. If you would like to help us out with fundraising, or any other kind of roles within our company, then there's a link on the website you can fill in your information. I don't think we're recruiting for call handlers just now, but it's always worth keeping an eye out if that type of thing appeals to you and you want to be one of the ones sitting helping other people get home. That would be great. But I think the main thing is if your listeners could follow us on social media, just at Strut Safe. If they are able to donate, that's great. But if they can't, then just share us around all their social medias and just try and get the word out. That would be great.
That's brilliant. And I will put the link to the website in the bio of this. And when I put it out on the Instagram, I will also tag Strut Safe in it. Presuming you are on Instagram, yeah. You did say, didn't you?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, we are.
Lack of sleep.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that. I feel like we've covered so much in such a short space of time. We've really smashed that one out, haven't we?
Well, I'm just hoping that I'm because I'm Scottish and I talk very fast, but I'm hoping I've not been too fast and everybody's been able to understand fine, because that was one of my worries. So,
Well, I've understood you, but I'm Northern. I'm from Cumbria, so
okay.
maybe that's why. But I know a lot of my listeners are from Cumbria as well. Maybe
Okay.
the ones from other countries might be thinking, what?
Well, yeah, they might be maybe we're doing a transcript.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. I really,
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
it. It's
Thank you so
it's
much for asking us to come on.
it's such an important organisation. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye.